Hello, and welcome back to Before the Green. It is hard to believe, but we are on episode 15.
Really? That's
Yeah.
it?
That's it. Actually, the way we do it with like the All-Star race and all that stuff, we've got like 43 episodes, I think, on the year. So we're like a third of the way. But the NASCAR season's rolling along.
We have no lives.
No, I just have friends that, although they're mean and miserable to me, are willing to cater a little bit to my.
You know, I'm only on the Fox schedule, right?
What's that? Sorry?
I'm only on the Fox schedule. Like, I haven't been negotiated yet for NBC coverage. So I mean,
well, then you should figure out what they can do to make you buff like McDowell. And then let me know too.
Original. Yeah. Gotta be Plexus.
The Plexus, yeah.
I know some people you can get that off of, so.
Yeah, well. Anyway.
I'll get a family discount.
Hope you guys had a good week, but we've got a lot of NASCAR to talk about this week. I actually think we got some really exciting topics. I think it's going to be good.
Putting a lot of pressure on us.
No, I mean, I can edit that out if it's not. If I feel like it's not great, I'll cut it. Don't worry.
Well, let's move it along. Pumpkin spice.
Who's pumpkin spice?
I'm assuming me because I got the.
You do look more like pumpkin spice than I do.
Yeah. I got a pumpkin of a head to match the.
I heard you got some soap in the mail today.
I did.
Jalapeno or something.
Yeah. So, I used.
You know when you get hungry in the shower? Well, he wants to be able to just take a bite of a bar of soap and.
No, they have a limited edition. It's called Fuego, and it's got. From what I understand, it's got jalapeno infused in it and stuff. So I figured, why not try it?
Only Evan soap would have a nutrition label on it. Like,
this soap has 15 calories.
Actually, knock it all you want, but my soap is awesome, and my shampoo is too. Big believer in Dr. Squatch stuff. We're gonna film an ad for them later on.
When his mom used to wash his mouth out with soap if he swore or something, he used to enjoy it. I'm not.
Actually, I will say, for all the times I probably deserved to have my mouth washed out with soap, it never happened.
Oh man,
I can't say the same.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be brutal.
Natalie said you're not allowed to talk that way around Sully, and then
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of silliness,
let's drop the soap and move on.
All right. So silly season has heated up drastically. Also, Evan's skin once he puts that.
Also, the jalapeno soap, the Fuego.
Your little jalapeno popper. Make sure to scrub that too.
Oh man.
Let's go back to NASCAR. We were almost started.
Putting the peen in jalapeno.
All right, now calm down.
I think we need Marilee back.
We don't want to be cutting stuff already. All right.
Silly
NASCAR.
Yeah.
Silly season has heated up over the last 2 weeks as we saw Ricky Stenhouse Jr. kick things off by signing an extension with JTG Doherty, the biggest surprise coming this week when Michael McDowell announced he was leaving Front Row Motorsports early on Wednesday, only to have a follow-up announcement from Spire that he had signed a multi-year deal with them. There was no indication of which car he would drive, nor his replacement, but what are the thoughts on this? I thought there was an indication of who he was driving for.
Indication of who, but not like what car number or...
Yeah, it's just 73, isn't it?
I never saw that.
Yeah, I read it, but...
Well, because 71 if it was Zane Smith.
Sorry, 71, yeah. No, that's what I read. That
okay.
He jumped in the 71, so...
Well, I didn't...
I could be wrong, but...
No, it's totally fine. You may be. I may have left out information. But since I'm already talking, I guess I'll just continue. But I think this is. I don't think this is a huge gain for Michael. I think probably going to be about where he needs to be. I do think Spire's gaining a nice veteran voice in that equipment. Like Corey LaJoie would probably be their veteran at this point, and I don't consider Corey to be a veteran in many ways.
And he hates teammates, so
he what? Oh yeah,
he hates teammates.
And he is getting the 71.
Okay, you just confirmed.
Yep.
What I did find interesting is that there's no badge on his uniform in the picture that Spire released indicating manufacturer, which not a huge deal, but could be an indicator that if there is going to be a fourth manufacturer come in, that perhaps Spire is one of the leading candidates, which has been kind of rumored to be the case. So I thought that was interesting, but overall, I don't think much really changes as far as, are we going to see Michael closer to the front or further on back? I don't really think that's the case. He'll probably run a couple spots further back for a little bit, but hopefully he can improve that team like he was a part of over at Front Row. I think competition's good for everybody. So.
Yeah, 100%. Like I think McDowell already is overdriving the equipment that he has. He's making that program look a heck of a lot better than what I think they actually are. So, I mean, to bring that talent over to Spire, you got young guys on your roster there that he can help out, actually be a decent, older voice, because I don't think LaJoie is that guy, nor does he want to be that guy. And then fair enough, you know what I mean? You don't always have to be the guy to mentor, but I think McDowell would be class act for that. I think he's going to up that program from day one on the track and off the track. So I was shocked that he's leaving Ford. Like I thought that's what was most shocking to me. Like when I heard he was leaving, I'm like, okay, he's either going to take the 2-car or he's going to take Harrison Burton's ride, like something big. The fact that he's gone to Chevy and Spire, or as Evan said, maybe a fourth manufacturer, that all interesting stuff. But yeah, I'm guessing he must be a deal too good not to take, because as he said before, he's been in the Cup for a long time and always near the back, and then finally got half decent equipment, and we're really starting to see what talent this guy actually has. And to have to worry like, hey, am I going to go back to where I was, or am I going to still be able to stay competitive? Like, I'm guessing they sold him pretty good on it. So it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. And the first part of that question was what? Oh, Ricky Stenhouse. That kind of surprised me too. I know he just won the Daytona last year, but I mean, like, I don't know what went off in his head where he thinks that makes him a NASCAR champion, because the way he's been racing this year and like the aggression he has, and like, I don't know. He thinks he's a lot better than what he is, but obviously he's got a good relationship there, and he got him a Daytona 500 win. So I think that speaks to how big of a race that is, because I really don't think he was worth locking up again at this point. I think there's a lot better talent that you could have got.
Yeah, I will say too, in regards to Stenhouse, I think that tells you a lot about perhaps some of the turmoil that's going on behind the scenes. The fact that there's been some rumors that perhaps they were shutting down or, losing their sponsorship deals or whatever. The fact that he took enough faith in them to say, you know what, I am willing to stay here for 2 years or multi-years, I guess. And the fact that they were willing to put a contract out saying that they were going to take him on for multiple years indicates that a lot of people there, for whatever reason, don't seem to think things are looking badly for them. So whatever the
turmoil where else
is
he going to go?
No, but I mean, still, he could probably get a better Xfinity ride, or, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to be competitive, but, the fact that there's a multi-year deal on the table from JTG when they're supposedly going through a complete restructuring or downsizing I guess downsizing from 1 to 0 is getting out, but, whatever is going on there, that's an interesting tidbit that there was a multi-year deal offered there. So I think it's good. I will say, hopefully all of the silly season stuff drags out a little bit longer than what we've seen with McDowell, because we only had like 2 to 3 hours to text and come up with rumors and possibilities and
Right.
fantasies. I mean, it was like 3 hours later, Spire's like, okay, we signed the deal. It's like, what? Like, this is
But-
wild.
I mean, we still got 143 podcasts left to record this season, so
Yeah, we need the content. What are we doing here? But
you guys mentioned a fourth manufacturer. Wouldn't that be something that be announced years in advance instead of just like a year?
Yeah, probably.
yeah, I would.
And
think
actually,
I feel like that's a big deal. Like that'd be something.
well, it is a huge deal because NASCAR, I forget, I think it was Elton Sawyer said a fourth manufacturer is not going to produce a V8 pushrod engine for NASCAR, which I totally understand. It's not the type of engine that anyone runs anymore. We don't run pushrod type engines, let alone V8s. So if a fourth manufacturer comes in, chances are we're going to see a V6 turbo or some form of hybrid or some other variation of engine. We may stick with a V8, but it would be like a dual overhead cam or something like that. It will be different from what we've got now if a fourth manufacturer comes in. Which, what's that? Tesla? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
18 laps down now charging, but should be done here soon.
When they get back out, they'll have full speed for a few moments. So I think that's interesting too, because the whole purpose of this car was to save teams money. And I think if you bring in a fourth manufacturer, because this car has drawn the attention of those manufacturers, right? It's more competitive across the board. There's a lot less development to get your cars fast at this point, I think, if you're a new manufacturer coming in, because you have all the same components as everyone else. So if the whole concept was to make the car cheaper, and now all of a sudden 3 manufacturers have to design a whole new engine package because of a fourth manufacturer coming in, I don't know if that necessarily solves the problem. However, I do love the thought of a fourth manufacturer coming back, I think, or I shouldn't say coming back, but like having that wider field and more competition, I think would be great. We need one more team to hold up the line at Talladega and make sure we're all getting good fuel mileage. So, I think there's positives, but at the same point, it would be interesting to see who jumps ship there and whatnot. But that was just something I noticed as far as the badge on his fire suit.
Right on.
I think I called it a jersey earlier, which was weird.
All right, well, I can't touch on any of the engine stuff because I'm the guy who can't get my tractor lawnmower working right now. So, I mean, I guess I'm not going to.
Well, you're not supposed to mow in May anyway, so don't worry about it.
Okay, my grass is like 4 feet long right now.
Yeah, it's for the bees. Okay?
Like I have neighbors around me and their grass is like way shorter than mine. I don't know what it is, but my grass grows faster than everybody else in my neighborhood.
The grass is always greener, Corey.
I have the Kyle Larson grass, I guess, of the neighborhood.
That's because when I'm over, I don't use your washroom inside.
All right. Just outside eating soap.
You'll never be back again.
See you in a couple weeks, buddy.
I'm going there in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, I got it backwards.
Right. Which I haven't cleared with my wife yet, but hey.
Oh, she's fine.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right. So normally we discuss the winner at the end. However, since it plays into other topics we're looking to discuss, let's talk about Brad Keselowski snapping his 110 race winless streak at Darlington after a tough battle between him and Tyler Reddick, and then Chris Buescher and Tyler Reddick. After seeing how Brad raced Tyler, essentially putting him into the wall, was Reddick right to race Buescher how he did? Donnie.
So just to clarify, I think this would have been 110 races without a win had he not won, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I saw the number 110 when Fox put the graphic up.
I'm pretty sure he's second to Bowman anyways, so Bowman
won more recently, but thank you.
No, Brad just won on Sunday, so.
Well, fair enough.
Wait, does that put Bowman the next one in line? Is he?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not
sure.
He's got to be up there.
I'm actually thinking it's Austin Dillon or Austin Cindric.
They don't really count.
So to get to your question or whatever, stoked for Brad. Love to see it. It's been a long stretch, whether it was 109 or 110 races. It was a long time since we've seen him win. So it was great to see him back in. As far as Reddick racing Buescher the way he did, I think it's fair game. I don't like the fact that he went and apologized to Buescher. And here's my reasoning: is Reddick was leading, and he was being attacked by Keselowski and Buescher, and fair, which I'm all for, like 100%. Like that's racing, like that's where it shakes out. Brad got him up into the wall. Brad was running him a little rough, and again, racing. Like I'm totally fine with it. And then at one point, Buescher, instead of dropping low to pass them, goes right onto Brad and pushes him as hard as he can.
I thought he was going to wreck him.
Yeah,
he
almost
nailed
did,
him, man.
right? Like, so right there, I'm like, okay, you're obviously racing for your boss too, because you know that's been a long time since he's been there, and Brad has pushed you to victory a couple times that we've seen. And so right there, you show like, hey, I'm racing as much for Brad as I am myself. And so at that point, then I'm like, game's game. Like, you don't have to, Reddick doesn't have to race you clean as you guys have done your whole careers, where Brad's already been racing a bit dirty. You're helping Brad. It's 2 against 1. Tyler's got to do what he's got to do. And what Tyler did cost him and Buescher both the race. It was the wrong move. And I get why Tyler feels bad, because Tyler's the type of guy that doesn't want to ruin someone else's day and wants to keep it clean. But I think all was fair in that. Like, it was a bad mistake. It was a bad choice. It didn't work out, but I mean, I'm all for it.
They were all racing
awesome
for the
racing.
win. Like,
it was fun to watch. Like, as much as I hated it for Reddick, like, it was, I think it was fair.
And really, Reddick didn't go to Buescher to apologize.
Buescher. Yeah.
But he might have if he had had a chance, but
I don't know.
Instantly, he was like, I know I messed up.
Yeah, well,
like, what do you say though when Chris Buescher is like towering over you? I mean, I don't know.
Like, do you see the size differential there?
It's wild. And I said, I don't think Reddick should have apologized. No, I didn't like that.
Yeah,
I like the fact that
Buescher
Buescher
helmet
did
on
that.
when Buescher came over. Like, he had just gotten out of the car.
Yeah.
Right.
So
sorry, Donnie, I cut you off.
Yeah, I was just saying I like that Buescher showed that aggressiveness, because Buescher could have been like, oh, well, at least my boss won, and go join the celebration party. But you know, he was mad, he was heated, he felt disrespected. So I'm all for, go speak your whatever. But I think Reddick should have just said, 2 against 1. That's racing. Like, get over it, move on. But unfortunately, these boys at Toyota, aside from Denny Hamlin, are too much of gentlemen and can't get out of their own way sometimes.
Okay. So
what? You think I'm wrong on that?
That Toyota drivers are too much a gentleman?
Mine is Denny Hamlin.
What about Bubba Wallace? He pushed Kyle Larson there a couple of years ago, didn't he?
What about
like Bubba's not really near the front to.
What about John Hunter? Okay, so only the drivers at the front are the ones who are worried. Okay, because I was gonna say John Hunter is not.
No, I'm talking about like racing for wins and stuff like that. Okay. Like, I mean, yeah, like I'm not gonna.
I don't know. I think once Gibbs gets that first one off his back, and I think you'll see he's not always much of a gentleman either. He's been a lot cleaner in Cup than I anticipated, but if he starts feeling challenged, I think you'll see it. I don't think Reddick was necessarily. What's that?
I hope we do. Like, I want to see more aggression out of these guys.
100%. I think aggression is great for the sport. And speaking of, I think that in-season tournament next year is probably going to up that like no man's business. You put $1 million on the line, I think we're going to see a lot of aggression out of these guys in the summer. As for Reddick, I think you're right. I think what he did was fair game, not necessarily because it was 2-on-1, just because you're going for the win. It's totally fair. I do think that it was dumb racing on his part to like. It's not a place where you can really pull a slide job, so I don't understand why he drove it in as hard as he did into 3 and 4. Other than the fact that that's kind of typical for him. I think Tyler. I think Chris probably was actually going to push Brad again after they get in the wall, but realized he was coming a little too hot. Because if you look, he kind of slowly comes down, and then it's a big jerk to the left to pass them both. I think he realized there was a little bit too much of a speed difference there. Otherwise, he probably would have pushed Brad past again. But I think they both knew that if Reddick got out front, they weren't going to catch lap traffic, and if they didn't catch lap traffic, Reddick probably had the faster car to win there, provided he didn't mess it up. And without pressure, I don't think he messes up. I think pressure is what tends to do him in. Or what? Am I wrong?
Yeah, but carry on.
What am I wrong about?
No, I'm gonna let you finish your points. Like I disagree.
Disagree on what? That he would have messed it up without pressure?
No, like he was racing. Like it's 2-on-1. Like Brad got ahead of him. Brad was racing. Like what? How's there pressure? Like there's no.
I'm
like,
saying no. Hang on.
It sound like Tyler Reddick only wins if he's 5 laps ahead of the field, and if someone gets to 4, he's going to.
Other than Talladega, he's never won with less than 1.2 seconds of an advantage. He's never won in a high pressure situation. I came with receipts.
I knew he was trying to bait you.
But what I actually said was that if he had gotten away, he wouldn't have had pressure because he was significantly faster, is what I said.
Like pressure is going to change the way any guy drives. Like he's got to stick around his windows.
I'm saying that's why Brad and Chris were pushing so hard to make sure he didn't get clear of them, because if he got clear, they weren't going to be able to catch him with the cars.
Well, you're making it sound like the second the kid gets pressure, he's going to crash into a wall, and it's just you're wrong.
No, but I'm saying that under pressure, he has a chance of messing up. Without pressure, he's not gonna.
As with every 35 guys in the field. Like that's just common.
100%. So what I'm saying is they knew they couldn't let him get a big 2 to 3 second gap like they had before.
Making sure that's just what you're saying.
I mean,
because when you come out saying, if it wasn't for pressure, we know he would like.
I think you misheard what I said. I really don't think I said what you think I said. Now, after you made your claim, I did say that he doesn't win without big leads, but whatever. But no, I think it was totally fair racing for everybody. You're going for the win, and you're in a winner get it win in your in system where, to be honest, with the way it's going right now, you pretty much gotta win or be far up in the points, because it's, each winner pushes you one spot further back, of course, right? So I think you got to do what you got to do, and they did what they had to do. I think Buescher's probably a little upset that last week he didn't do what he had to do and was in a position this week where he wasn't able to have the outcome he wanted.
But he was. That's the thing. If he didn't push Brad that first time, if he would have dove when he should have, like I think that's Buescher's race to win. He chose to go for Brad, and then that's where I'm like, Reddick just, like I get that Reddick races you clean if you race him clean. Like they had a good relationship, and Buescher feels wrong by that. But I don't think Reddick pulls that move if Buescher didn't push Kez like that first time.
Maybe.
I really don't.
I will say this. I don't know
that changed the way Tyler drove. It's like, I don't owe you anything because I'm feeling used up here.
It may have, but I'm not convinced that Reddick wouldn't have hit the wall, even if he had cleared Buescher on that exact. Like he came in hot.
Yeah.
Obviously hot enough that he damaged both cars to the point where they both had to pit. Like, he didn't gently get into him or anything like that. Like he came in hot, and I mean his car might have been a little damaged because of the contact with Brad earlier.
But and those tires are wearing down at that point too.
Oh yeah, those guys were pushing hard. Yeah, which I think is why Ty Gibbs almost caught Brad.
Yeah,
that was shaping up to be a good race too. But
yeah.
Anyway, I'm with you. I think it was fair racing, but I think it's fair because of the format, not because of what one did or the other. I think regardless, there's no respect in the field right now that puts you in a position where you're going to give up a spot at 20 some laps to go, right?
Yeah. But
it all matters too much.
Yeah. Like I think, like just to talk on that one more time, like I think Reddick gives that spot up if he didn't feel used up. Like I don't think Reddick would have tried to put that car where he put it had he not felt how he was being raced by the two of them before that. Like I think Reddick would have realized like, frig, day's not mine, but I'm going to take home a second or third place car. But where it's like, I'm getting raced hard here, I'm going to try and make this stick.
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
I think circumstances dictated how that went, and it didn't work out.
I think that's a hard one to ever prove, but it's definitely
no, it is. That's just me thinking out loud.
That's just you as a fan.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Is I think.
I get that.
Yep.
Donnie was hoping to get 1 point, but
I was hoping to get 2.
I thought you were going to get 2 for a long time.
I thought he was going to get 2 as well, but
I was pretty bummed. But being honest.
But luckily, Byron friggin' punted all the top contenders out at the start of the race and was able to drive her to 6th.
Hey, listen, that's later in the podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. So
are we? Okay, good.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't read the
We're not
outline?
crapping on my Toyota boys. I'm not going after Chevy. I'll tell you that.
all right. So yesterday was a great day for Ford, finally. After having 6 runner-up finishes this year, they finally broke through at Darlington and put 5 Fords in the top 10. Was this the big turnaround that we were looking for, or does Darlington tend to lend itself to situations where you can win without having dominating speed?
I think it's the latter.
You think?
Yeah, I'm not ready to say, oh, Ford's got it now. We're good. Like, you've won 1 race this season, and it's Darlington where I feel like anybody's got a shot. Like, yeah, I'm not ready to say
they've been
Ford's
showing
off the
improvement
hook.
though. Like Buescher almost won last week. Like they've definitely
Yeah,
come
and
alive.
Blaney
A little
almost
bit.
won. Like almost.
I don't know, man.
Tyler almost won. Guess what? It doesn't mean anything. He finished 32nd.
I feel
I
like
think
they've
it's the 6 runner-up
turned,
finishes for me that kind of makes me think it might be the turning point, right? Like, I don't necessarily think they were like they always had one team that ran decently well, and that team rotated. Like it wasn't a consistent thing, but you know they weren't completely off the map every week.
They're looking better than what they have. Like, I mean, Stuart Haas alone, like, I got to give credit to that.
Yeah, like Gregson.
But I'm not ready to say, like, you know, we're going to see a 3-team, like, or 3 manufacturer drag race to the end. Like, I don't think this race says Ford has improved, and now we're going to see, like, no, like, you got to win something like this, you know, go win in Charlotte, then I'll be convinced, or like, but yeah.
I don't know. I think they've improved. I just don't know it's been a big improvement yet. But
yeah. I will say though, I think closing the gap on Toyota, like I think this is gonna, if they are getting better, I think this is gonna really put Chevy in a pickle. Simply because Chevy's the one who has the oldest body. Chevy's obviously the one that has, like, theoretically with each change in body, the car gets better, right? And so I think it'll be interesting to see how Chevy can hold on as these two like teams like Toyota and Ford, as they develop that car a little bit more and figure things out a little bit more here and there. It could be really interesting to see if Chevy can kind of hang with those boys or if they're going to just kind of put them as a back marker and move on, right? It could be really interesting to see how that goes. I think Darlington, although it does tend to give itself to drivers who can manage their equipment better overall, which I think is why we see guys like Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski kind of rise to the top. Yesterday we had 5 Fords in that top 10 and some names that I didn't expect, like Josh Berry, who came home 3rd, deserves a lot of credit for that. Out of nowhere, I will add. Same as Chase Briscoe was there, you know, and sure, if you put Buescher and Reddick back up there, some of those guys have a little bit worse finish, but still good. And so I think sometimes it's just getting that monkey off your back, just breaking that momentum or creating that momentum that can kind of change a season around. And I think that could be a positive note for them. And I hope it is. I want to see more competition across the field.
Yeah. And to me, like, I think momentum is if you can turn around and do this again quickly, because I don't think Darlington's enough to be like, all right, guys, we finally did it. Like, if you can't cash in on this now and make it look like you're for real, then.
Well, I'm going to call my shot now. I'm going to pick Buescher in Charlotte, seeing as I get first pick.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's where he gets it done. He's going to be a man on a mission.
I think you should go Austin Dillon if you got first pick, but that's just me.
I'm going to be honest. I thought about it because, you know, he's kind of one of those picks that you just kind of, I've burned a couple really good picks the last couple of weeks and I kind of thought about it.
Yeah.
But we're not at picks yet. Sorry.
Nope, but following the race, we saw an angry Chris Buescher approach Tyler Reddick and confront him about how the race ended between the two of them. While we won't repeat all that was said due to the family-friendly nature of the podcast, it essentially ended with a remark about how winning here would have meant more for Chris due to the fact that he doesn't have the sticker above his window that Reddick does. This was obviously a direct reference to the fact that Reddick has a win sticker on his window this season, while Buescher doesn't, meaning one is theoretically on the outside looking in come playoff time, while the other isn't. Is Chris correct that he somehow deserves more space on the track because he needs a win? No.
I'm going to say yes.
Really?
Take devil's advocate on this, and that's from one guy, and it's the guy in the 6 car now. That's the only time that I think you can say, "Hey, you got a sticker. You mind if I inch ahead here?" Like the other 34 guys on that track don't owe you nothing. Get over it. Like,
but even
sucks,
still,
but I mean, come on, man.
But
even still, a little more room doesn't mean giving positions. Like,
yeah, like
I don't think that means Brad's going to back up and give you the win, right? He
Buescher,
gave you
no.
He gave you
so
three.
Like if you're at
year.
a super speedway, yeah, you know what I mean. If you're in Daga, like, and you can make it work where Brad can push you, or like, you know,
right.
I'm sure teams do that kind of thing. But like Buescher cost
Especially
himself
when you own
that
the
win.
team.
Yeah, like, and I'm gonna, you know, stay on that point the rest of this podcast. Buescher cost himself that win. He could have, if he didn't push Brad there, I think it was his race to give away, and I don't think he would have.
I don't think you can say he cost himself the win, though.
He did, honestly. Like if he would have done that dive move before instead of pushing Brad, I think he drives away. Like
maybe.
And I mean, we've seen where he's put in his car the past few weeks and the moves that this guy's making. Like
that's 3 wide through the middle.
Talent. Yeah, it's insane what he's been able to do with his car.
Right.
And like Brad and Tyler were racing each other hard, beating up on each other. He could have drove away from that.
I guess what I thought you were saying was
Brad wasn't going to race him as clean as what Chris did after. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess what I thought you were saying is because he helped Brad, that's why Tyler ran into him. Therefore, he cost himself the race. And I'm like, I don't think that computes. No. I was like,
no,
what?
no. Like 100% no. Like, yeah, no, he should have been nicer to Tyler, and then this wouldn't have happened. Like, no, that's not the case. What I'm saying
Stockholm
is,
syndrome.
Yeah, the move before, not diving down and taking that pass when you should have. Like
that's fair.
That's what cost you.
When he hit Brad, you mean? Like when you ran into the back of him?
Yeah.
Like, could you there though, Evan? Like that's a pretty heavy braking zone coming up right there. Just coming from my racing.
I think he hit
like these guys are putting each other in the wall, like beating off each other. That sounded awful. Family friendly show, man.
But I know like Brad didn't get a big advantage there because he had to brake almost right away once he got.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying like that's the
turn
thing.
One's not a big braking zone. Turn 3 is. But, and they had come off turn 3 and 4. And they were slow enough that he probably could have got by if they didn't side draft him pretty hard. If they side drafted him, then it was going to probably be a situation.
They weren't going to side draft him though. They're so into fighting each other. Like he had a clear lane.
Yeah, like, I think my concern.
Watch the replays on that. Like I have a lot, and like that they literally cost him the race. Like there's no way around it.
My only concern would be that we would see a situation like if they did happen to get to turn 1 and we're still 3 wide, which I think there's a very real possibility that those two were going to drive it in there hard enough to be 3 wide, regardless of what Chris Buescher did. Then I think we might see another situation like we're going to talk about here in a minute with William Byron. Might have put himself in a pickle. He might just decide he wasn't willing to go 3 wide too, right? Until
I mean, he was willing to put the bumper to his teammate and almost wreck him. Like that.
Yeah. 2 years ago, that would have been a concussion in this car.
Yeah, like
he did.
I mean, like when Byron did it, there's traffic behind. You know what I mean? Like these guys were pretty clear.
Yeah.
Like even if you went 3 wide, someone could have got out of the throttle and not been wrecked.
Yeah. Like, no, you're right. I just. That might be what went through his head, right? It's hard to tell, but
exactly like you said, we don't know, but we can only assume.
How long until NASCAR gives us thought reading, like information on the TV?
Reading.
Just pop up in little bubbles like they do with the radio chatter. You know what I mean?
Man, we can hardly watch Green Flag Racing now without like 100 commercials. We're not going to get that. Like, oh man,
horrible coverage again. Like you go to commercial with a 5-second lead, you come back and stand to hundreds of a second. They don't address anything.
Actually, yeah. When
Like-
Reddick caught traffic and it went from like a 4.5 second lead to like, I think it was like 0.36 seconds. Like Brad was on him.
And they don't even address it. They're not like, oh, what, you missed that race? Just, yeah, we're back to racing.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're not. Something big happened.
Side by side. How do you not know what's happening?
Yeah.
I will say one thing that I do love that they're doing this year, because I do believe in giving credit where credit is due, unless it's to Donnie. But I do enjoy the fact that that they're putting a spotlight on the teams during the pit stops and stuff. I do like that.
That's been my favorite part of the season.
You mean for the broadcast or like overall? Because I mean, we've had some good.
No, like for like yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that beats the finishes. That beats.
Johnny goes just to watch the pit crew.
I don't care about who's driving the car. Show me who's filling it up with gas.
But I will say I will say too, you are right on this. I didn't notice it as early in the year as you did, but Kevin Harvick's a knob to Clint Boyer at times.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Like a bully, straight out bully. Like
yeah. Like yesterday when he called him Clint Winter Boyer, whatever it was he called him. I don't know, man. Like you're a champion with 60 wins and you're picking on the guy who, you know, always ran. Like when Kevin ran at RCR, he had great equipment the first few years. By the time Clint got there, the team had really fallen off. Kevin goes to Stewart-Haas Racing where they have really great equipment. When Clint gets there, they're starting to fall off. And, you know, and Kevin still had a good couple of years, but overall, you know, so, I mean, the guy was running your sloppy seconds. The guy took a year running, I forget who it was he ran, like in garbage equipment for a year waiting to get to Stewart-Haas. You know, I just, it doesn't look great to stand in your ivory tower where you were fortunate enough to have great rides and fortunate enough to have a 7-time champion die so you could get his seat. Like, you know what I mean? Like
I get if this is Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon, like, have at it, boys, because you both got a tower you can stand on. But you're talking to a guy who's a fan favorite who had a decent career and not a spectacular one. And it's just like, bro, you're taking away from the championship you have in your 60 wins because you just look sour. Like,
yeah, it looks really, and don't get me wrong, there's a chance that they have a relationship like I do with you guys or vice versa, but it does not come across that way on TV.
No, and there's times where I feel like Clint just kind of shuts down. And that's what's rough, is when you see a guy like Clint just go quiet and stick to script. It's like,
right?
Like, what are you doing, Kevin? Leave the guy alone.
It feels awkward and forced. And I don't know if Kevin's just trying to like find his place and make himself fit in the team or what, but it's not a great look. And I didn't notice it as early as you did. I think it's gotten progressively worse for that matter, which is probably why I'm noticing a bit more. But yeah, I don't really care for it. And that comes from someone who's been a bully lots of my life.
To be fair, though, a lot of people do pick on Clint. Like, he's been on podcasts and stuff, and he is like, you know, he's the butt of jokes a lot of times, just because I think he's so good-natured and easy going,
it's one
right?
thing to tease him about his party boy image. And stuff. Like, when you start going like to the track and results and like, I'm better than you. Like, but bro, nobody cares. Like,
and like I say, like. It would be interesting to see what Clint Boyer could have done had he been able to run in good equipment his whole career, right? Like, not everyone gets to have a Kevin Harvick career. Not everyone gets to have a Jimmy Johnson career, you know?
Yeah. I mean, look at Truex. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, of course, look at Truex. I'm going to make any.
No, I know where you're going with this. I agree 100%.
Garbage equipment finally gets good equipment and 30-some wins, 34 wins, a championship. Like, equipment matters in this sport.
Oh, 100%.
And like,
and the team around you for that matter. Like, not just the car, but the team around you. Like, Cole Pern was huge for him.
Oh, man. Yeah.
You know, what you wouldn't do for
I don't want to cry tonight. I don't want to cry tonight. Let's move it along.
All right. Let's way off topic here. So we saw aggressive maneuvers throughout the day, not just in the booth, I guess. But however, none had more impact than that of William Byron, who put himself, Ryan Blaney, and Martin Truex in a 3-wide situation before hitting Truex, who attempted to let out of the throttle to avoid a collision, only to get loose and get into Blaney, effectively ending both of their solid runs after major damage to both. Byron would continue on essentially damage-free. Blaney was unable to get his repairs done before the 5 minutes of allotted time and was therefore disqualified from continuing. He left pit road and went up on the track towards William Byron to express his displeasure. Thoughts on the situation?
Byron's
a
Byron.
bully.
I've been saying this. I don't know how he gets away with it in this clean guy image that he has, but the guy is racing like a complete family friendly jerk, complete jerk. Like, just gotta go through the Rolodex of words here. Yeah, like I just, man, like
you got all the way to J before
time
you had one that was family
right. Yeah, but like, and it wasn't the only time he went 3 wide. He did the same thing to Larson, but where it's Kyle Larson, he got out of the gas and let Larson move unscathed. But like, you weren't even close, man. Like to be
that was...
oh well, Martin was on my past my door. Like, man, like that was just dirty. Like, that's what it is. It's dirty, and like racing's racing. Like when you're racing for a win, and like what Tyler, Brad, and them, that's racing. When you're doing that, like, and we're not even halfway through a race and you just ruin 2 guys who run really well here, like, for what? Like, just, nah. I'm not high on Byron right now. I think the guy's a tool, and I think he needs to start being raced a little harder than what he is.
Well, according to Ryan Blaney, he will be. My problem is I find sometimes Blaney says things in anger and then never backs them up.
Oh yeah, he's hot on the mic.
But word on the street is that Byron and Blaney's sisters broke up. So I mean, he's fair game now.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's what I've been reading on.
Is she fair game too? Like,
I don't. Well, you go for it, bud. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm sure she'd go from Blaney to you, man.
Yeah.
I can grow my face with her out. I mean,
Blaney to Planey.
Blaney. That okay. Well, that probably wouldn't have helped the situation for that matter, but. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think that there was intent to wreck them in that moment, but you would be stupid not to realize the danger of the situation that you're putting people in. Right. Like, and not only that,
what do you think is going to happen?
Right. Like, it's also a dangerous situation to put yourself in. Like, if Truex doesn't back out there and you continue to come up like you are, you get spun into the wall head first.
And can I say though, this is what ticks me is. We friggin' know the kind of guy that Truex is. He's going to lift. He's not going to wreck you that soon in a race. You probably wouldn't even wreck you for the win. And that's my gripe about Truex is like, friggin' stop being so nice and start racing these guys the way that they're racing you.
To be fair, though, it's a no-win situation for him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
right? Like, he's going to wreck himself if he doesn't let out.
Right, but Truex did what he had to do, try to save his car, and unfortunately,
right, and it didn't
put him too bad of a spot. But next time, like I just say, wreck Byron, put him in the wall. I don't care.
I will say, thankfully, I will say Truex's day wasn't completely shot like Blaney's was, at least, but he definitely didn't have a car afterwards.
It was for how Truex runs to that track and 20 something. Like no,
oh, he didn't break the top. I thought he broke the top 20.
No, it was like 23rd or something.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought he was running really close to top 20, and then I figured when Buescher and Reddick got out, I figured
he fell back the last restart, I think.
But. It'll be interesting, especially especially there is that extra dynamic with Blaney and Byron. I mean, I don't think that really plays out onto the track a whole lot, but. I mean, depending on how things went, it very well could, right? You never know. So.
Yeah. But no, I'm kind of like I'm over Byron. Like I don't.
It was dirty.
I don't think he's as good as what he is because when he's winning races, he's
as good as he is. He just might not be.
Yeah, but I mean, like he's not winning clean. Like he's not like once this has got to catch up to him eventually.
Yeah, but what people said that about Earnhardt too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to compare Byron to Earnhardt on any merit.
No, but like, Busch never gave any space.
Corey's even said it. Like, how did Earnhardt get away with what he got away? Like,
100%.
He wasn't in the sport at the time, but every highlight you see at Dale, he's just driving up behind someone and putting them in the wall and taking the checkered flag.
Yeah,
but
I know.
I feel, I feel like they're better policed nowadays.
I don't think Byron has the fortitude to do it long term. Like, I think if someone confronts him on it, I think that's probably the end of it for him. I don't think he has the nerve to do that. But at the same point, like, if it goes unchecked, it goes unchecked. And once you have a persona, you have a persona, right? Like,
I'm telling you, if I'm Blaney and I don't make it to the Final Four and Byron does, I'm going to be looking for his bumper at Phoenix. Like, I don't care. Like, if you're going to continue to drive that way, like, this isn't the format to do that in, because they can ruin everything you want.
I will say,
real quick.
I don't think Blaney should let it go that long.
No, absolutely not. But I'm just saying, like,
if it does,
he's making a habit out of this. Like, you're not going to have many friends come Phoenix.
Right. Yeah. What do you say we head on over to the caution break, guys?
Let's do it. So I get some more family-friendly words written down.
All right. So we are going to play an all-star type of game. We've never played this game before. We're going to play a game called Who Did It? I'm going to give you questions, and you're going to tell me the driver that fits the bill on those. And we're going to kind of just have a little bit of fun. Like I say, it's all-star edition questions, so no major stress.
I've never watched an all-star race. I should do awesome.
You've never watched the all-star race?
I don't think I watched it last year.
Oh, I thought you did. It was pretty boring because of Kyle Larson just dominating.
Basically a parade.
Yeah. All right. So let's start with this one. Who is the only current Cup Series driver who is a multi-time winner of the All-Star race?
Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson is correct. Interesting fact about this is in 2019 he won it, which it was at Charlotte. 2021 he won it when it was at Texas, and now in 2023 he won it at North Wilkesboro. So kind of interesting that he's done on 3 different tracks. All right, question number 2. This will probably be more Donnie's territory than yours, Corey, but give it a shot. Who was the other driver involved in the 1987 Pass in the Grass with Dale Earnhardt Sr.?
Allison.
All right, we got an Allison vote. Corey, who you got?
Terry Labonte.
All right, so it was Bill Elliott, actually, father of Chase Elliott. It wasn't so much a pass in the grass as Earnhardt had the lead, drove through the grass after being partially spun by a faster Bill Elliott, and then returned to the track still in the lead, but it's been known as the pass in the grass ever since. Okay, which crew chief was responsible for building the infamous T-Rex car that dominated the 1997 All-Star race, only to be banned immediately following the race, even though it passed inspection?
No idea.
Dale Earnhardt.
This is back when I liked cars because of the paint schemes.
Well, you probably would have liked this one. The crew chief was Ray Evernham. The car was called T-Rex because it was sponsored by the Jurassic Park movie that had just come out. But it was Ray Evernham. The car passed inspection following the race, and Ray Evernham was then called to the NASCAR hauler. Bill France told him to call his boss and tell him the car was illegal, to which Ray responded that it wasn't, as it had just passed inspection, and they built it completely within the rules. Bill responded by saying, "It will be tomorrow." So the car
was a boarding car, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And they took everything that they had for new technology and put it into the car. And it was an absolute piece of junk at the test. And then they said, all right, we're going to try like this major adjustment on it, put it in it. And he like dominated the field that night. Like it was, nobody had anything for him. And Bill France told them, car never comes back. And it never did. It's still in the museum, still with the T-Rex paint on it. 1 race, 1 win. $1 million.
That's wild.
Yeah. Okay, only one driver other than Chase Elliott has won the fan vote multiple times to earn entry to the All-Star race. Who was that driver?
Dale Jr.
Okay, Dale Jr. Who'd you say, Corey?
Jr.
Okay. Actually, it was Danica Patrick. Chase won it 3 consecutive times from 2016 to 2018, while Danica won it twice in 2013 and 2015.
Really? She was the most popular driver?
Was the most popular driver?
most popular to not already be in the race. Like you got to realize,
Oh, okay.
Earnhardt
Oh,
Jr.
I'm thinking like you're saying
Yeah.
like guys who have won most popular driver.
No, the
Like,
fan vote to get into the
okay.
All-Star race. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Someone voted her into the All-Star race.
Yeah, because I'm like,
Yeah,
it's got to be Junior. Because if it's not Junior, then nobody else has got it. Like,
yeah, no,
Okay.
Junior only relied on the fan vote once to get into the All-Star race.
yeah,
Other than that, he either was already in or got in through the open. Who is the only driver in All-Star history to win the fan vote to get in and then go on to win the All-Star race?
recent or like, give us kind of
Mid 2000s,
mid 2000s,
late 2000s, I guess, really. But
I mean, I don't. Ryan Newman.
okay, Corey, you got somebody?
I got nobody.
All right, it was Casey Kane in 2008. He raced in the Open, didn't get in through the Open, got the fan vote, and somehow won the race. So that was kind of stellar. And the last question, who is the only driver to win the All-Star race, even while the fans at home knew he was driving an illegal car?
Jeff Gordon.
No. This is recent, actually.
Recent. Kevin Harvick.
Corey?
Dale Jr.
Ryan Blaney, 2022. They came to the checkered line or checkered flag, and NASCAR threw out the caution really quickly before the checkered flag, put it into overtime. Ryan Blaney released his window net,
Oh, yes.
and then drove around holding it up into place. So the fans at home knew the car was illegal, but they never took the win away from Ryan Blaney, even though they probably theoretically they should have pit. But
which is the season he won first place to make
2022.
it in. Yeah, like he didn't win at all that season, but
Right,
got
that
in
was
as
the
the
only race
regular
he won.
season champion. And
Yeah.
Truex missed it by finishing fourth. Missed
Yeah.
the playoffs. Oh, that was a sour season. Like as mad as I was last year, that one hurt more.
Yeah,
To be in fourth place on the season, not be running the playoffs.
I get that. All right, that's the entirety of the caution break tonight. Hope that was enjoyable for you guys.
Yeah,
Yes,
study
yes.
for that.
All right, what do you say we get into picks? We've got some extra special stuff tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Our sponsor didn't come through this week, so we're doing the best we can with our graphics.
Actually, no, hang on. You do realize that, like, in the middle of the spinning wheel is our logo.
Oh, look at that.
No,
And
we
if
don't
you-
realize that because
No,
none of us can see it, Evan.
What do you mean you can't see it?
I can't even see my name on there.
What?
Right?
It's on there so
I
many
think-
times.
We all don't have 90-inch plasma screens for our.
You notice the one name in white is Evan, like white and black, so you can.
Right?
No,
see it.
mine is white and light green.
Yeah, you can see your name perfectly. Yep.
Well, yours is like the two darker
Alright,
shades.
don't matter. Don't
We'll
matter.
see how this plays out.
Yeah, we'll see who gets
Just
first
know it
pick,
might
and
be
then we'll
contested.
see how protest. Yeah.
All right.
All
I'm
right,
ready to move it.
boys. Yeah, we are headed off to North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. This is the second time, right? Second time here for the All-Star race. NASCAR actually stopped racing here back in 1996. This track originally built in 47, I want to say, for a cost of $3,000. So,
I couldn't even pay my driveway for $3,000 right now.
right? You're going to start your lawnmower for $3,000. So yeah, basically though, what happened with this track is Dale Jr. kind of led the revival on it. They're getting her all cleaned up for iRacing because I don't know if everyone knows this, but with iRacing, it's the most authentic track you can get. They measure it with lasers. They get really in there and make it, basically what you would be racing if you were there. And so kind of just kept spawning from there, and now it's back on the schedule, and with some decent tire packages, we might actually get a decent race. So, as I said, second time here. Larson dominated it last year. I think Daniel Suarez was the only other person to lead laps here. And so,
Really?
Random.
yeah.
Of
I
all
think
the
Daniel
people.
had right? Hey,
Okay.
2 playoff drivers.
Yeah, that's
What?
true.
Yeah. I'm not really excited to talk about picks last week. I'd rather just move on to this week. But
I think we have to, Donnie.
I mean, I think everybody knows what happened. Tyler Reddick almost got me too, and then
Had the win.
got me picking third in Charlotte. Gregson had a horrible start, back of the pack, made it to the middle, and Byron just plowed on through the day, literally. And yep, Evan gets a point. So it's a filthy, dirty point, I'll say. And I mean, if you're happy with it, great, but I wouldn't be.
That's why I bought some soap this week. So
Yeah.
Right? Be not on those jalapenos.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I don't know. We might have some new listeners here, but the way the All-Star race works is it isn't points as usual. Evan's not taking first pick automatically because of this. He retains that for Charlotte. We're going to be spinning the wheel to see who goes first, second, and third. The All-Star Open will be picking a driver first. Whoever gets the win there gets 1 point. And then you got two drivers basically in the main race that you have a chance for your 2 points or one. So chance to walk away with 3 points. The win here doesn't count towards the tie break because of Evan's crazy math and algebra and figuring out how to confuse everyone. And that's kind of been Evan's plan from the start. I should make this confusing so I might be able to screw them out of a win come the end of the year. But luckily he doesn't run competitive enough through the week, so I don't think it'll be a problem when I'm up by 20 at the end.
Are you done rambling, or like Corey and I can come back when you're ready to do something?
Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
All right. Let's
I mean, I've got to try and tell the people what you've done here. I'm trying to make it make sense. This is for first.
This is for first.
Are you? Oh, see, it is so
Right,
rigged.
so I think that's for third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For second.
So I get to pick first. We might as well spin the wheel, figure out who's picking, and then do our picks. That fair?
Sure. Yep.
Giver.
All right.
We all know I'm picking last.
You don't have much luck with
If this
the
is
wheel.
Evan again, see?
No, I removed all instances of, so it is Donnie and then Corey.
Yeah, no surprise.
Right. Perfect.
Really, you're gonna spin it?
Why
with
are you
just
spinning?
Because Corey should win something.
Oh,
Merrily.
this is rigged.
All right, so Corey it is.
Rigged.
All right.
Rigged.
Well, that was fun.
All right.
Wasn't it? I think it worked out great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when your name's on it 60 times and me and Corey are only on it 20.
You can pause this when you watch, if you want to watch the
And
podcast.
it just seemed to keep rolling really slowly there to your name
Okay.
too. Like just a little.
All right, so it's me, and then Donnie, and then Corey, and then me.
It's almost like he had the mouse that he was just directing it, right?
And then
A little
Donnie.
bit more, a little bit more.
And then Corey. All right. What do we want to do? Open first, I assume?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, this is an easy pick for me. I am going with my man, Alex Bowman.
Right.
About
on.
time.
Well, it doesn't
First
count.
pick
for
and you
anything right
waste
now.
it. I mean, I think we should spin again for the actual race.
Oh, yeah. All right. Donnie, go ahead.
All right, you're taking Bowman. I'm going to stick with my guys. I'm going Ty Gibbs.
Big surprises.
I struggled hard not to take Ty Gibbs.
That's who I would have taken.
I think he's going to do good.
Right? So
Corey's
I'll
going to take
the first
Harrison
pick.
Burton and blow us all away.
I'm taking Noah Gregson.
Yeah. I had Gregson or Barry if I was going third. I wasn't sure what one to take.
Yeah. If I hadn't have had Alex Bowman as an option, the two picks you guys made would have been where I would probably have
Those
gone.
were the three picks I had. It's like it's
Yeah, I think they were the obvious.
Hopefully
picks.
Bowman doesn't win, though, and you had him as an option. So
Oh, shut up. All right.
now the big race.
Who am I going to pick for the big waist? Kyle Larson wins every second year, it seems, so I'm not going to take him this year. I am going to take... I think we're going to have a new multiple-time winner at the All-Star race, and I think it's going to be Denny Hamlin.
That's who I wanted.
Was
Oh,
it?
good.
Yeah.
Donnie?
I honestly thought my first pick was going to be gone, so I had Reddick as second, Elliott as third, but first pick still on the board.
Martin
Kyle
Truex.
Larson.
Oh, really?
Kyle Larson.
Yep.
See, I wasn't gonna pick Kyle.
I mean, like it was just dominant last
Now
year.
I gotta see. I know,
Like,
but
he
he's
came
not.
from he came from like 15th. Like, oh, you know what? Can
He's not-
I switch that? Has it been locked in? Has it been locked in before you say anything else? Has it been locked in? It's your guys' call.
I mean,
Pick someone else. Go ahead.
all right.
Are you guys good if I
Corey's good with it.
debate with myself?
I'm good
here?
with it.
Yeah?
You go for it.
I forgot that he's gone.
He's
Like
not gonna be in
Harvick's
the car.
qualifying for him and everything. So,
You think that's hurting him?
well, I don't think it's helping.
Okay.
Like,
I don't know. I just don't think that matters to Kyle. Like,
yeah, you know what?
No, he already said he's changing his pick. So
Yeah, I am going to change my pick, and it's a free week, so I'm going Martin Truex Jr.
Martin Truex Jr.
I was blown away when he did not. I love the fact that he said his second pick was Reddick and his third pick was who?
Elliott.
And your first pick was
Larson.
But screw all those guys.
When I wrote those down, I kind of forgot that I'm not burning
That
Truex.
MPJ is an all-star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, that like I
you know.
still pick him again.
All right, Corey, who you got?
All right. So Hamlin's gone. Truex
It
is
sucks
gone.
that I wasn't able to take him with the first round, but unfortunately, the guy wins and he's a champion, so he's always in the main race.
Well, I wasn't gonna take him for the same reason, but I'm taking Kyle Larson. He can do it.
You're gonna take Larson?
I'll take Larson.
All right.
Honestly, I think Ty Gibbs has a great shot at winning.
Ty Gibbs? Yeah.
Like
I think he's a to win everywhere right now. Like I think he's really right at the cusp of doing what he needs to do.
Well, I mean, now that he's got a big fan of Kevin Stahlbaum, he's going to be
right.
unstoppable.
Kevin bought a hat today. I gotta say, I'm impressed.
Right? Yeah, I like Bubba Wallace. Okay, no, I don't like Bubba Wallace anymore, but I'm going to make a decision here and stick with it and buy a hat. Like, come on.
I will say he inspired me. I put
Kevin.
2 hats in my cart today. I didn't buy them, but I put them in the cart. So,
did you get that ugly one you sent us? Did you actually buy the Ernie Irvin hat?
yeah, I got that.
Did you really?
And I paid $1 for it.
Yeah,
You paid
$27
for it.
Okay, well, it's got 3 autographs. It's got Yates, it's got Ernie Irvin, and it's got Larry Mack. And I'm not convinced that there's not a 4th one.
Yeah, but it looks like it also sat in a sewer since those guys autographed it.
So do I.
You'll have to scrub it extra hard with the jalapeno.
Man, I should have taken Logano. He hasn't failed me yet. I should have kept with him. But
Hey, I'll let you change.
no, I'm sticking with Larson.
You gave me a...
Man,
I don't know. Go ahead. Change.
No,
honestly, this is going to be such
I'm already kind of regret not taking Larson.
I can't not take him if he was available for third.
Sometimes I regret like I think this is going to be a brutal race to keep track of who's that. Like, it's hard sometimes to keep track of when we got 3 guys. Adding 3 more into the mix for the All-Star race, theoretically, provided they all get across, which I think there's a good chance those guys do.
Isn't there only 2?
Yeah, but there's a fan vote.
Which is why I wanted Gragson, because didn't he win last year?
He won fan vote last year, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
That doesn't get you a point.
No, but I mean, I still, if he doesn't
Bowman and
win,
Gragson have both won the fan vote at some point. Gibbs didn't have to as of yet. So, but yeah, I think all 3 of those guys could potentially get the fan vote if they don't get in. So I think we're probably going to have at least 5, probably 6 guys to keep track of in the All-Star race.
Yeah, Denny's good pick. Short track.
Yeah, I think
that's who I wanted, but I was like, well, if I'm picking third, there's no way. So
I'd be pretty happy to walk out of here with 3 points and take the lead.
Yeah, keep dreaming.
I'd be disappointed.
I bet you would be.
I don't want 3 points. Maybe 1. I'll take 1. I'd be happy, but I'd be disappointed if I got 3.
So
this interesting.
So we got 3 Toyotas picked, 1 Ford, and 2 Chevys. gonna be an interesting race.
It probably won't though. Like that's what
Yeah,
sucked. Is
probably
last year this was boring as all get out. And that's why I didn't want to do the All-Star race this year at your place.
And
Well,
like it
that's
means
fair.
nothing. Like,
But I have that next Monday off anyway, so we're gonna have a good time. Memorial Day weekend. Indy 500, Coke 600.
Is that? I think you're off on that, aren't you? We get Victoria Day off.
We get Victoria Day off, but I
He
took the
booked it
Monday off
off,
next
yeah.
week.
Oh, you booked it off. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's gonna be good. Looking forward to it. Well, Donnie, what do you say you get us out of here, man? Let these people go on with their daily life.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in once again. Sorry for the ramblings and the confusing all-star breakdown. But as you can see, Evan cheated himself to picking first. And me and Corey are left here having to defend ourselves against a rig system.
Next time, you guys can spin the wheel. That's fine.
I think we'll do that next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, it's built into the internals that I get to pick first, but all right.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know what that is.
But what was that? Your gang sign or something?
Evan's going to get us all shot and killed here. Yeah. Anyway, to my Crips. Peace out. Loads. Blah, blah.